What is up, Maniacs, and welcome to the next episode of our podcast. I know it's been quite a while since we did our last video, but for today, we have someone new, and he will be co hosting today. Maniacs, meet Dom.
Thank you for the introduction, Fred.
Mhm.
And it's special 008. No, I'm just kidding. It's just me, Dom, the one and only.
Yup, he is Dom, and I'm FSP Works, but you can always call me Fred. And as usual, we are here to drop you nuts and bolts with our bumper to bumper podcast. What we're about to feature today is still a living legend. It is a rally legend, and is still available today. Now, Dom, since our co-host Chris is not here, I guess it is your time to shine.
Guess so.
Yeah,
But still, it's too bad that he isn't here.
yeah, I miss my buddy Chris. Well, anyways, take a guess now, Dom.
Alright. I'm guessing an Audi Quattro.
Audi Quattro, not quite, and it's not a car from the west. It is from the east, actually.
I see. So it's in Asia. I'm guessing an Evo.
Lancer Evo, no. Definitely not a Mitsubishi, but it is still a rally legend. It's still an all-wheel drive, but it had a different engine configuration.
Hmm. Now I know. It's a Subaru WRX. Am I right?
Yes, it's a WRX, and until now it is a living legend. It is still available today. However, the Subaru WRX that we're about to feature today is the latest WRX, yeah? And it is quite controversial of a car since it had a rather bold styling. And also it had an engine that it is still new, however, it only had a few upgrades from its predecessor.
Well, our opinions can change, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm still trying to, better appreciate the car, but later on, probably after this episode, I'll be able to appreciate the car.
I'm hoping so too. It's a WRX, so it could change. So let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. And without further ado, so that we can better appreciate the WRX, let us take a look at the roots of it, yeah?
All right, let's get to it.
Before we proceed to the car review, let us take a look at the brief history of the Subaru WRX. It was first launched in 1992. The WRX is not the most powerful Impreza out there, as the WRX STI is the true rally champ. However, it was the original turbocharged pocket rocket. The WRX means World Rally Experimental.
But then it became an instant icon, right, Dom?
Well, you're right, Fred.
Yeah.
It's an instant icon, winning 3 consecutive manufacturers' championships, and the first Japanese automobile company to do so. Plus, a host of other successes including class wins in the 24-hour Nürburgring race. For a generation, rally is defined by the blue and gold colors that is Subaru. Right, Fred?
Absolutely, Dom. It became a distinctive identity of Subaru for years, especially in the rally world.
Indeed, Fred. Now going back. In Australia, WRX dominated the Australian Rally Championship, or also known as ARC, with 10 consecutive Drivers' Championships and 7 Manufacturers' Championship crowns that only came to an end following Subaru's undefeated withdrawal from the championship in 2005. A comeback in 2016 saw WRX take another championship win, proving once again that the WRX is a force to be reckoned with. And just this year, Subaru launched a whole new WRX with an all-new styling. Now, most Subaru enthusiasts were not happy with its new design due to its plastic cladding. Well, it is what it is now with the new WRX. Anyways, let us move on to the exterior of the WRX.
Thank you, Dom, for explaining the history. Now, if I were to be honest with the exterior of the new WRX, well, it is not my cup of tea. at least for now.
Why is it?
Let's say that the new design of the WRX is rather bold and sharp, probably overly designed. There are many sharp edges here and there. The unpainted plastic cladding made this WRX a lot more off-roady, although not everyone likes the unpainted claddings. However, these claddings are actually functional, and those vents help with aerodynamics, according to the manufacturer. And since it is unpainted, paint chips won't be much of a problem with these plastic claddings if it needs to drive aggressively on dirt. There are durable plastic parts here and there, aside from these, again, plastic claddings. The front fender is also made out of aluminium, reducing the vehicle's weight. Now, the grille is larger compared to its predecessor, and at the same time, it also looks sleeker compared to the previous generation WRX, isn't it, Dom?
Oh yes, it is.
What you see here are LED headlights, which makes the WRX a lot more aggressive. If you go to the rear, you can see that the taillights are quite sleek. It reminded me, however, of the 2012 to 2016 Honda Civic taillights. I'm not exactly a fan of it, as it looks rather off with the WRX. What makes the rear a little more pleasing is that dock tail spoiler. It doesn't look bad though. These quad exhaust screams performance, sort of, but it probably does not sound as aggressive as the WRX STI with its legendary EJ25 engine's grumble, you know? Now, this WRX is sitting on these gunmetal 18-inch alloy wheels wrapped in 245/40 tires. This may not be the most attractive WRX, in my opinion at least, I must say. But these wheels are surely handsome and gorgeous, just like Chris. I miss my buddy though.
But he is our cameraman for today, right, Chris?
Alright. I forgot that he is our cameraman.
Oh well.
Now, let us go to the interior of the Subaru WRX. As you can see, it is spacious.
Legroom is plenty adequate actually for its class.
Ingress and egress? Not a problem. While everything in this interior is quite spacious, headroom can be a problem, especially if you're above 6 feet.
Yeah, that's the advantage of us being below 6 feet, yeah?
And that is right. Moving on. Now let's go to the front. The seats were improved and now we can sit in an Alcantara seat with the WRX logo stitched on the headrest. Talk about feeling like a race car driver.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Dom. Feel like a rally driver every time, you know, whenever I see that thing. Yeah?
Yeah. Not only that though, these are covered with red stitching, which gives it a sporty feel. Speaking of sporty, the steering wheel is one example that defines it. The steering wheel is wrapped in high quality leather and there are different functions as well. Almost quite similar to the steering wheel to our 2020 Subaru Forester though. There are piano black inserts, and at the bottom, you will see a carbon fiber-like design with the WRX logo on it, which is A-OK. Let's move forward a bit. The gauge cluster is still analog, which is somehow a good thing. The only thing that's digital is the center, which shows the boost gauge, the mileage, and such. Going to the center though, we will see a huge 11.6 display that is equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now, let us move to the boot of this WRX. The boot space is adequate enough for full loads of groceries to fit in case Fred calls us for a beer night.
Are you hiding something from me, Dom?
What? No, of course not.
To be honest, I'm a bit freaked out with you, you know?
Well, Fred, don't be. What I'm talking about is 2 full bodies of lechon.
Alright, I see. Say, Dom, do you want to drink out tonight?
I'm sorry, Fred, but I'm gonna pass on that. I don't want to drive home, with alcohol in my body.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Dom. Don't drink and drive, guys. Alright? Now, let us move on to the engine specs and the overall, performance of the WRX, since it's a bit controversial. So yeah,
let's get to it.
Now going to the engine and powertrain of the WRX. This is powered by a 2.4-liter turbocharged boxer engine, producing 271 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Now, despite of it being larger than the previous generation 2-liter FA20 engine, It only had 3 added horsepower, more than the previous engine. It sets a huge drawback to most enthusiasts, as it is a perfectly new engine, and also it had a larger displacement. It could have had bigger horsepower upgrades to the smaller 2-liter engine. This particular unit came with a continuously variable transmission. Now, if you're not a huge fan, or rather, a huge AC unit of CVTs, you can also opt for a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, underneath this WRX is Subaru's sport-tuned 4-wheel independent suspension system, which also contributes to the car's stability, aside from its already legendary flat 4 engine. Since I was the one responsible with the overall shots of the Subaru WRX that I shot at the Subaru Passig dealer, I will compare it with my first impressions. We have mentioned our critiques about the car before I actually saw it in person. Now, I will tell you this. It wasn't really as bad as I was expecting it to be. It is larger than the previous WRX. The infamous plastic claddings are starting to grow in me somehow, although it may still take a while for me to appreciate somehow. My opinion towards the taillights will never change. I believe that they can still improve on it, although as I have mentioned a while ago, the spoiler made it a little better. The interior quality is quite superb actually, as expected with most Subaru vehicles. The Alcantara and leather finishes are just of high quality, so it wasn't really that bad, although it still needs some improvement with performance and styling. Well, that's it with my opinion about the WRX when I saw it in person.
Well, this has been an amazing experience, my man.
Absolutely, Dom. And also, thank you for taking over.
Of course, anytime.
Well, too bad that you weren't able to test drive the unit, you know?
Yeah, too bad. Well, there's always a next time, right?
Yeah. Well, probably anytime soon we'll be able to test drive a WRX. Or maybe I can probably own one.
Yeah, why not, right?
Only time can tell, buddy.
Only time can tell.
Now, before we wrap this up, we would like to thank Subaru Passig for allowing us to feature this amazing WRX. If you're interested in getting this WRX, you may contact Denz de la Cruz of Subaru Passig at 0917-185-8118. Now, if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe to our channel and also press the notification bell for more updates.